This is what I spend my $80,000 monthly income on.
5 years old, and let's talk about my $1.2 million payday routine.
Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be going over some clips covering some crazy lifestyle spending. Showing people who have a bit of a taste for the finer things in life.
Let's see how much money I spend in a day as a new money millionaire who lives in New York City. When I wake up, my housekeeper comes over, she cooks my breakfast and also cleans my entire apartment. And then I run to a personal boxing session. Every single day I get my glam done professionally and I prepare the new gift for my makeup artist. Every single day I use 3 iPhones because I'm recording so much stuff at the same time and I lost one of my iPhones, so I got replacement. Since I was already in Soho, I could not resist the temptation of a shopping. So I got myself a tracksuit and 2 bags. I had a lunch at my favorite restaurant where I go almost every single day, and with my assistant we paid for my trip to Aspen tomorrow for the flight, hotels and personal skin instructor. While I was running around in the city, my interior designer was taking care of the renovation of my apartment. I paid for a day of construction team that was working on the renovation and also ordered furniture and received some furniture. I'm Russian, we take New Year extremely seriously, so I was taking care of myself and I got a budget treatment and also facial and purchased some new cosmetics. In New York I always use Ubers and usually during the day I ride at least 6 times. Then I ordered some Sephora for my trip and also had a Nobu for dinner, she is bougie today, and sent a New Year gift to my little brother. This is my traumatizing total of the day.
On the surface, it does seem very superficial, and a lot of people will say, oh, she doesn't need this, she doesn't need that, but she seems fairly put together and very aware of her spending. I won't say that she's being reckless with it at all. If you can afford to live like this without making a dent in your earnings or savings or whatever, all the power to you.
What's your name?
I'm Claudia,
Where are you from?
Australia.
How long have you been in New York City?
Only 10 days.
How long are you staying here?
Only 10 days.
Why are you here?
I'm here to visit. It's been my dream to come for many, many years, and I'm finally here.
How much money will you spend on your entire trip to New York City, including everything?
Oh God, probably around, including everything, probably over 10 grand.
And how will you spend it?
Well, I've spent it, obviously flights, accommodation, a lot around food, shopping, all of it, yeah.
What's your occupation? What do you do?
I work in tech sales.
And how did you get into that?
I just got into it through reaching out to different companies that I was interested in working for straight out of high school. I study on the weekends, and so there's a lot of hustle involved, but I eventually landed a really lower level job and worked my way up into sales.
How much money do you make per year doing that? Let's do it numbers.
In AUD, I know. So in AUD, I'm making around 120,000, which would probably be around 90 or 100 USD.
So with work, how many hours do you work? What does your work day look like?
I'm working around probably 9 to 10 hours a day, so I'm getting into the office around 8 and probably leaving around 6 to 7 p.m. So it's a bit longer than a normal work day, but it's nothing unreasonable.
Did you need a college degree to get the job?
No, I haven't finished my degree yet.
How old are you?
I've only just turned 20.
What's your advice to all the girls out there that want to have a similar job experience and make that much money? 20, 21, 22. What's your advice to them?
My advice would be you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I've got it tattooed on me here, that you can see, but it just, you have to take every fucking shot that you can, even if you're gonna, sorry, pardon my French, but even if you're gonna embarrass yourself, even if it's not gonna work out. I spend most of my days cold calling, and I cannot let myself be restricted by my nerves, by my fears of being turned down. You gotta be ruthless, you gotta be honest, and you don't let being a girl set you back, because oftentimes people will not take you as seriously as, if you were to be a man, but miss 100% of the shots, so take everyone.
She is absolutely preaching right now. You got to put yourself out there, man. If you're too shy or too scared of rejection, you won't make it. I can tell you that now.
I'm 35 years old, and let's talk about my $1.2 million payday routine. First of all, it starts with about $1 million coming in from the Section 8 program in the first week of every month. I'll then do another $150,000 per month in software consulting, education gigs that I'm involved with. Another $50,000 will come in from HOA consulting contracts. So in all, about $1.2 million in gross income at the beginning of every month. The first step is those funds will hit my Wells Fargo American accounts here between the 1st and the 3rd of the month. They'll sit there for 24 to 48 hours before my accounting team will then wire them to the Cayman Islands, more specifically the Cayman National Bank out of the Isle of Man. Why do I do that? My asset protection trust and my registered agent and trustee are out of the Cayman Islands, so my funds have to clear those islands first before they're wired back into the United States. Now let's talk about the expenses. We'll start with personal first. My property that I'm in right now is about $100,000 per month. $60,000 of that is going to go to principal and interest, and then $40,000 will go to property taxes and insurance. Now let's talk about the cars. I have 5 cars, 4 Rolls Royces, 1 Lamborghini. The Lamborghini is paid off, the Rolls Royce Dawn is paid off, the Spectre, the Ghost, and the Phantom all have monthly payments totaling around $33,000 per month. Another $7,000 per month in insurance, taxes, maintenance, general miscellaneous things. I pay about $40,000 per month for the collection. Now, of course, we can't forget my 100-foot motor yacht. Her name is Cersei. It's $20,000 per month to the bank for the payment, another $10,000 per month for the insurance. So you're at $30,000 right there. $30,000 more go to the crew. I have a 3-man crew, a full-time captain, engineer, and deckhand. On top of that, we have fuel, which is anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000 per month, depending on how much we run her. $1,000 per month goes into detailing. $2,000 per month goes into barnacle scraping, diving, along with other operations around the boat. I budget between $70,000 and $85,000 per month to operate and maintain my yacht.
Dang, right off the bat, that is a lot of stuff. But, it's good that he seems extremely aware of where pretty much every dollar is going, especially when earning that much. You see so many people losing themselves and not even knowing where each cent is going. So good on him in that regard. Off to a good start.
Can't forget about the house staff. I have a full-time chef, housekeeper, groundskeeper, detailer, and security. That's another $40,000 per month. And then I just have some miscellaneous utilities. About $7,000 a month is the power bill, because don't forget also I'm powering my yacht in the backyard. Water bill is about $2,000 per month. $1,500 in gas. I think I pay about $400 per month for health insurance. $300 a month for multiple Verizon phone lines. And then I think about $1,200 a month in internet. I have a dedicated commercial fiber optic line along with a residential line, and I also have Starlink as backup, so I have triple redundancy for the internet in the property. All in all, I think I spend about $250,000 a month on personal expenses. Now let's get into the commercial expenses. I spend about $60,000 per month to pay my 9 full-time property managers that are spread across 4 different states. I don't really have any repair expenses or CapEx or capital expenses or any major remodeling required on the properties. I've been able to mitigate and also streamline the majority of those expenses, so it's really only about $15,000 per month, which is not bad on 710 properties. Then I have to pay the banks. That's about $150,000 every single month in debt service or mortgage payments. Keep in mind, guys, earlier on in my career, I did pay off a lot of my properties, so $150,000 per month is really not that bad on millions of dollars in commercial contingent debt. The property taxes on my portfolio are another $38,000 per month. Typically, we're able to appeal them at the end of the year, and it brings it down to about $32,000 to $33,000 average per month there.
Again, stuff like this is why many people move their businesses to places like Dubai, the lack of income tax. A lot of these numbers here are what some people don't ever see in a year, hell, 10 years or even longer, or even their whole lives.
Of course, I am a real estate professional, so I'm able to write off certain expenses, deductions, depreciations as a result of owning hundreds of Section 8 rental properties. I also have a 501c3 nonprofit organization that I'm able to donate a large part of my income to that organization in order to keep those operations going. This nonprofit, combined with the advantages of having an offshore Cayman Island trust, combined with having all the deductions and expenses that I mentioned earlier in this video, allow me to have a 6-figure federal tax bill, which is not too bad considering the income that I'm bringing in on a monthly and annual basis.
This just shows how property, if done smartly and right, can be a game changer for you. Absolute game changer. Of course, you got to be smart about the location, the ROI on the spot, and make as educated of a decision as you possibly can.
You're fucking insane. The youth of today. It boggles my freaking mind. There's a company that literally makes sneakers look old and worn.
Mm-hmm. Honey, we buy ripped jeans with holes and
Why don't you just buy my old sneakers?
Yeah, this is just a trend thing purely. Silly trends like these are a thing that will always be here. Take like 2017, for example, with the Supreme and Bape Hypebeast era. You hardly hear of those companies or people wearing those brands or flexing those brands anymore. Stuff like this is a trend. Name brand companies just slap their brand onto a product that costs a fraction of the selling price to make, and then they sell it for crazy profits. It's ridiculous, but it's something that'll always be around. It's always been around, that I don't see going away anytime soon, or ever for that matter.
I'm waiting for my brother to come out, so let's do what I spent in August living in New York / traveling half a month. So my mortgage is $8,900 and my HOA fee was $1,368. Parking garage for my car was $325. Wi-Fi was $99.99 and my car payment was also $700. Eating out was $1,930.34. I spent $65,212.21 on shopping this month, but I did spend a lot because I was in Japan, so I was going crazy. On flights and transportation, I spent $2,207.91. On hotels, I spent $10,155.13. And I did some activities when I was in Japan, so that cost me $432.64. I also did pay my property tax for the year already, so that was $14,228.43. I did get a Pilates membership, so I do like 20 classes a month, so that's $2,000. And that brings my total to $107,559.65 for the month of August.
Well, New York, man, you got to be in a whole nother tax bracket to live comfortably in New York. This is just far beyond comfort at that. Again, some people will say, "Oh, she's insane for spending that much." Yes, it is a crazy amount of money, but look, she sat in a Rolls Royce. She can afford to spend 100 grand in 1 month alone. I'm fairly certain she's doing all right financially.
Hi, I'm a trust fund baby, and this is what I spend my $80,000 monthly income on. The biggest expenses are my properties. So I own 3 properties, which I visit seasonally. My house in Houston is where I live majority of the time. My New York apartment for when I want to be a city girl and go on shopping trips over the weekend, and my apartment in Korea for when I visit family. I visit Korea 8 to 10 times a year to visit my parents, and I always fly business class. Flying comfortably for that long in the air makes paying for business class so worth, but for all my domestic flights, I ride privately. And most of my domestic flights are to New York because I love shopping in the city. So I'll meet up with my friends, go shopping, eat good food, and I also love to buy gifts. Recently, my boyfriend was needing a new belt, so I went to New York to get him a classic leather belt. But yes, basically when in New York, most of my money is spent on traveling, shopping, and eating. Speaking of eating, at my Houston house, I have private chefs who cook me anything I ask for. It saves me so much time because ultimately time is also money. But something that requires a lot of time but is so worth it are all the treatments I get done, like my laser hair removal sessions, my bi-weekly scalp treatments, weekly facials, and quarterly high-quality haircuts. These are some of the high-maintenance things that help me stay low maintenance. Anyways, those are just a few of the things I spend my money on throughout the month.
I want a classy leather belt from New York. People are going to hate saying it's daddy's money and all that, but let's be very real for a sec. Isn't that what most people dream of? To make enough money for their kids' kids, and their kids' kids, to make sure they're all set up financially for life. I get that it's ridiculous spending in general, but most people usually hate on stuff like this and say that they're just using their parents' money as if it's an insult. Whereas, again, being able to give your family a life like this is something that many people dream of, and many of you watching, I'm sure you dream of doing the same thing. I dream of that. So less hating and go make your own bread.
I currently make around $100,000 every single month, and people always ask me how I spend it. So here's exactly how I spent it last month. So the first thing is probably rent. As most of you guys probably know, I moved into a new apartment in Miami, and it's honestly not as much compared to a lot of apartments out here. It's only like $3,000 or $4,000 every month. And my second apartment back at home is around $2,000 a month. So for rent, I pay around like $6,000 a month. Second thing is probably my car payments. My C8 Corvette is around like $2,000 a month. The car was around $100,000. I put half down and financed the rest for only 36 months, which is why it's a little high because people usually finance for like 5 to 10 years instead. And my other car, which is my daily, is only like $500 a month. And the insurance is around $500 a month, which for a young guy like me driving a car like that, not too bad. Next is probably shopping, eating, traveling, clubbing. I would say I roughly spend around $5,000 to $10,000 in total in those categories. Some people might say it's a waste of money, but when I was growing up, I didn't have that much. But now that I work hard and make a decent amount, I like to actually spend and enjoy it. And also, there's no point in making money if you're not even going to spend it or have fun with it. And the rest I mainly put into launching more products on Shopify and dropshipping, and also into crypto or stocks or savings as well.
Hey, can't hate on him, man. Young age, earning that much. I don't entirely disagree with what he said about what's the point of earning if you're not going to spend some of it to have a good time, especially knowing that he didn't come from money. He seems to at least have a good head on his shoulders, though, and is aware of what he spends and where his money is going, which is good. But lots of people in this position, at his age especially, even older maybe, they don't get these things. They aren't aware of these things. They just blow all their money on having a good time. And they aren't able to afford that lifestyle in the long run because as soon as they get the money, it's going out faster than it's going in. So I do hope he has savings and a retirement fund. So in case any of this stuff comes crashing down, which anything can come crashing down, he won't be left high and dry.
Here's how much I spent in a day at Disney.
The tickets into the park were $184 per person. First thing, we had to get a sweatshirt. This one was $70.03. This frozen apple juice and pretzel breadstick was the best snack of the trip. It was $13.68. Everyone raves about this macaroon. Oh, whoops. It was $6.49. Had to hydrate. This was around $4. Lunchtime, mozzarella sticks and fries. This was $12. It was from the Golden Horseshoe. More water, $4. I bought 4 keychains for my nieces and nephews. It totaled $64.61. You have to get a Mickey pretzel. This was $7.25. Also, can we just appreciate how magical Disneyland is at night? I was filling ice cream. A single scoop was $5.79. I have never tried a turkey leg before, but these were good. $12.49 added to the trip. Waiting for our watermelon lemonade. This was $10.49 and it was good. Why not add in some donuts? These were $5.99. I cannot go to Disneyland without getting this grilled cheese and tomato soup. We also added a cookie. Dinner was $18.48. I was really surprised. I spent $419.30 today at Disney.
Yeah, most theme parks are very overpriced, grossly overpriced even, and Disney especially is known for being one of those people. But okay, when looking at it objectively, yes, the $184 per person ticket is fairly high. But given that the total, I'm assuming just for her per person was 400 or so bucks, I think she didn't go too crazy here. You know, you see those Disney adults online, Disney adults who spend way more there on merch and whatnot. So she's keeping it relatively mild in terms of going crazy spending wise.
Huge shopping haul because I'm going to college. My first ever Louis. I got these like star. Next is loose thing I got with this long sleeve. Hold on, this is just basic white tank top, which it like ties in the tops. I got just this like random pink. This white one. I just got it in this pink color. One is this pretty pink fave. I absolutely got the basic black. These right pretty blue color jacket. It like pink top, just like completely closed in the front, and it kind of has white shorts right here. Right here, socks. Look, basic white socks. Little sandals. It has their gold ones. Look. Here's the bottle, and
all right, so our grand total was $4,219.
Usually Lululemon stuff is the expensive stuff in someone's haul, but you know, compared to the rest of the haul, the Lululemon stuff seems like chump change in comparison. You know, do you really need all that stuff for college? $4,000 worth of stuff, regardless of how rich you are. I mean, again, spend your money how you want to. I won't judge. Maybe a little bit, but dang, that just seems like overkill. You know, I never thought I'd see the day where the Lululemon stuff in a haul was the cheap thing. Most people for college, you're not going to need that kind of stuff. I may be wrong, but I'm assuming it was provided for money wise. If it makes them happy, it makes them happy. I just cannot justify myself personally ever spending something like that, spending that amount on stuff like that for college, stuff that you absolutely don't need. It just doesn't make too much sense. All right, that being said, guys, that is all we have for today. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.